At this moment, and several races expected to be close, not just for president, but also for some local seats. So it's important to vote. All right, we got with more than 2 million early voters in Virginia, more than 4 million in the state of North Carolina. Your final chance to cast your ballot is today. Okay, here's the thing. Polls open today at 6 a.m. this morning. They will close at 7 tonight. Now, remember, if you are in line by the time the polls close with a form of ID, like a driver's license, passport, or utility bill, you can vote. In North Carolina, those polls opened at 6:30 this morning. They will close at 7:30 tonight. And if you're in line by 7:30 with a valid form of ID and you're already registered to vote, you can cast your ballot in the Tar Heel state. Now, North Carolina does not offer same-day voter registration, but Virginia does. So if you're a Virginia resident and you have not yet registered to vote, you can still register and vote in person at your polling location. So don't let that stop you. Be sure to come prepared to wait in line. You want to stay hydrated, as temperatures could possibly go up today as well on this election day.
Now, voters nationwide will join the 82 million Americans who have cast their ballots already in the 2024 election. The race for the White House took an unconventional route, ending with each presidential candidate in different battleground states. ABC's Christian Cordero has the latest from the White House.
Today, millions of Americans are making their voices heard.
What brought me to the poll today is I think my vote counts.
Joining the tens of millions of people who cast their ballots early. Vice President Harris said she mailed her ballot in as running mate Tim Walz voted early in person. And today, former President Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance went to their polling places.
I think that we're going to win. I really do. But ultimately, the voters make that decision. We'll see what they think about this by the end of the day, hopefully.
Last night, Trump spoke to supporters in battleground Michigan, pointing to the economy and the southern border, saying the country is going in the wrong direction. He then drifted into the dark, personal attacks that have laced his message in recent weeks. His latest target, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the first woman to hold the position.
She's an evil, sick, crazy. It starts with a B, but I won't say it. I want to say it.
In the 107 days since launching her campaign, Harris focused on access to reproductive rights and tax incentives for the middle class. In her final rally in Pennsylvania, she leaned on her celebrity supporters to drive voters to the polls, from The Roots to Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, and Oprah. Harris continued her closing strategy to not mention Trump by name. Her campaign says she's trying to end on a positive note, as she delivered remarks on top of the so-called Rocky Steps in Philadelphia.
And here at these famous steps, a tribute to those who start as the underdog and climb to victory.
Tonight, Trump's campaign will be set up in West Palm Beach, Harris in Washington, D.C., at her alma mater of Howard University.
That's what my focus is right now today, I must admit, which is making sure everybody knows the power of their voice through their vote.
And Dixville Notch, New Hampshire has a nearly 60-year tradition of voting in person at midnight, which all 6 of their registered voters did. The results? Trump 3, Harris 3, a tie. Christian Cordero, ABC News, the White House.
And we're just hours away from polls closing and the results starting to come in. And it's important to know not only does your vote matter, but the Electoral College's vote matters as well.
Yeah, when you vote for president, you're deciding which electors will represent your state. The number of electors in each state is determined by how many seats in Congress that state has. And that number is based on the state's population.
There are a total of 538 electors. You can see it right there. A majority of 270 electoral votes. That's what is needed for the candidate to win. If neither candidate gets to 270, well, the House of Representatives will determine the president, but each state delegation, regardless of the number of electors, must vote as one.
And the popular vote winner has lost the Electoral College in 2 of the last 6 elections. That prompted calls to change to a popular vote system, but that requires a constitutional amendment. 13 News Now will have complete coverage of the election as results come in tonight. Download the 13 News Now Plus streaming app where you can watch interviews, facts about the candidates, and the live results. This is free on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. And from Virginia to North Carolina, 13 News Now will have live election team coverage all night long, bringing you the late-breaking details as winning candidates are announced.